Hello. Well, many of our long-term subscribers have been wondering why we've been a bit short on the old travel videos of late. Well, of course, things happening on the political scene in the UK have meant that we've had other things to look at, but we're addressing that issue with the travel videos now. We're in Gibraltar at the Sunborn Yacht Hotel, 5-star luxury. We're going to take you inside, show you around, and then we're going to show you some of the sights of Gibraltar itself. Welcome to Grey Matters. It's the first place you'll see when you come on board, which is the reception. The first thing you'll notice is how big the place is. You'll see this magnificent sweeping staircase and this incredible light, which is a work of art in itself. And then perhaps one of the longest reception desks you're going to see anywhere, I would suggest. Now, of course, we're here in February, low season, which means that there's only a few flights a day coming in, and you should have no problems checking in or checking out. You're not going to get the big queues that you might get in the summer, but then even then, with such a big reception desk and staff, you shouldn't have to wait too long at all. Everything is so well organised. Now, the reception is indeed the beating heart of the Sunborn, a 5-star yacht with 5-star service. Now, virtually anything you need, reception will be able to help you with, whether it's advice on where to eat, places to see, booking trips, even getting a taxi organised for you. These are the people that really make the holiday special, as well, of course, as the rest of the staff. Okay, so we're in a Super King room. Let's just show you around and show you the features. The first thing you'll notice as you enter the cabin is the long, thin desk. But be aware, if you're not careful, gravity could grab your possessions, because this area here is sloped. This is nice and flat, as is this little bit here, but then this is sloped. And if you put your phones on there for charging, they're going to slide off, as I discovered the hard way. You have a nice desk here, and obviously with a lamp, and a nice, large, comfortable king-size bed, although we thought the duvet was a little thin. But it didn't really matter, as the heating in the room is very effective. And the heating and all other facilities are controlled from your bedside phone. It is a touch screen for making calls, drawing the curtains, turning on the lights, and controlling the room temperature and more using these various buttons. Now, there's also a large wardrobe in the room with mirrors and hanging space, a set of drawers and a safe, and your bathrobes and slippers, which can also be accessed from inside the bathroom, which is quite a clever touch. It's a nice large shower, a very nice shower actually, with a rainfall head and a hand shower too. Then, of course, there's the toilet, standard toilet you find anywhere, and a vanity unit with basin, towels and toiletries. The only thing I don't like about this bathroom is the lack of an external bathroom door. And I reckon that means you've got to be on pretty good terms with whoever you're staying with, because this is just a glass door and it doesn't really confine well, let's put it this way, it's not soundproof. So you've got to be on pretty good terms with, or at least in a long-term relationship with, your roommate. Because I think privacy is a little lacking in my opinion. And I think that could be a little awkward. Anyway, thankfully I've been married many, many years. Doesn't matter to me. Moving on, there's tea and coffee facilities and a well-stocked minibar. Now you can control the curtains from the telephone over there, as I showed you, or if you just want to open the nets, just give that a pull on the rod and that will open up. Now there is a balcony of sorts, as you can see. It's not very big. There might not be room for tables and chairs, but it's certainly a nice place to come out, get some fresh air and look at the vista. On this side of the ship you've got the marina, and of course, I say of course, but you've also got the runway from Gibraltar Airport. Now that extends for 2 miles way past those buildings, and it's the 5th shortest runway in the world. You need a special license to be able to land at Gibraltar. Depending on which side of the ship you are, you'll either have a view of the dock buildings, or you'll get this view, which they do charge a supplement for. Plug sockets on the Sunborn are all European. These are the only 2 plugs you will find in your room that take the UK plugs. You've got USB and HDMI and Ethernet connections there. The reason for not having British plugs is that the Sunborn was built for the European market, not for the British market. So do remember to bring adapters with you if you've got a lot of items to charge. Hi, well, we've looked at the Super King, the room that we're staying in, but now it's a bit of a treat. Let's look at the other end of the scale. And if you've got a little bit more cash to splash, you could have one of the suites on the Sunborn. Let's go and take a look. Now, we're in the Penthouse suite on deck 6 of 7, so couldn't get much higher, I don't think. And I'm with Karim. What can you tell me about this suite?
So this is our best room we have on board. This is the Penthouse suite here. I'm just going to give you a quick tour of the room, and I'm sure Pete's going to give you a good description as well and tell you exactly what he's seeing. But yeah, come on, let's take a closer look. This is the main lounge you have here, so you have sofas complete with table. Also, you have a writing desk over there. You can also take note of the large television.
Gosh, that is big.
Here. Yeah, absolutely.
65 inch or something like that?
I would say so, absolutely. So yeah, as well here you have your dining area. If you decide to order room service, then you can have it here. We have the mini bar area over here as well, so you can see it's fully stocked.
Nice Lavazza coffee machine.
Absolutely.
No expense spared.
Absolutely. So yeah, and as well when you book a suite, you have some complimentary water here. That's a given throughout all rooms in the hotel, and of course you have a small bottle of red here as well, which is
very
complimentary
nice
with our suites.
And then through, obviously, to the bedroom area.
This is the master bedroom. Absolutely, plenty of space in here. And yeah, definitely my favourite room on the boat.
Let's have a look in the bathroom.
So as we can see, it's pretty spacious, and it comes equipped with the bathtub here and a shower as well. So you don't need to make the choice. You can have both if you want to.
They are good sized showers as well, aren't they?
Absolutely. Very, very roomy.
Yeah.
Everything here is controlled by that TPAC system over there. So basically you can adjust all the lighting, the curtains opening without manually opening them. So I guess that just makes it a little bit more easier. Let me show you my favourite bit. This has to be.
Loving the door.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is a good size area, my goodness me.
It's a fantastic terrace. Absolutely. And sometimes on New Year's Eve, this gets rented out. You can have up to, I think it's a good 10 people in here for a party, if not a bit more. So, yeah, some people rent them out, but most oftenly, it's for our more exclusive clients that just want the extra privacy and they want the space. So, yeah, it's supposed to be lovely weather coming up, hopefully tomorrow as well.
All right, a little bit windy up here on the balcony, or the balcony deck, or whatever we might call it, but blue skies behind me. This is a lovely suite. It would set you back probably around £1,000 a night, but I would think that if you've got the money, if your pension's good enough, folks, you could probably afford it. Great thanks to Karim for showing us around this suite, and great thanks to the Sunborn too for allowing us to have a look here. It's really worth coming to stay. BA Holidays do a good deal. That's how we got here. It was cheaper with BA to pay for the flights and the room than it was to come direct and get the room. So pretty good deals. They are about if you want to look, but don't forget to try checking or booking direct with the Sunborn, because there's still some deals and concessions to be had, I'm sure. Thank you, Karim.
Thank you.
There's a choice of bars and restaurants on board, and the food is excellent and not too pricey. The 2-hour happy hour is the perfect time to try their cocktails, which are expertly made and quite delicious. The staff here are fantastic. Keep your eyes open for Abby in the bar. She's an absolute gem. At the top there, above those buildings, you can just see the Moorish castle, and down below, which is where we're going now, which is the waterfront casements.
The taxi drivers.
So these are the grand casement gates into the casement area, and we'll show you that in a second. This was the main military area for Gibraltar. A lot of barracks were here. It's now a public square. Lots of bars and restaurants here, and of course a quintessential British police station. Not exactly Dixon Dock Green though. There's lots of familiar British things, such as the waste paper bins for one thing, very familiar, and of course red telephone boxes. There's the odd cannon, and that one is very odd. And of course there's fish and chip shops and more fish and chip shops and burger and fish and chips and burgers. And the military atmosphere is still here with the design of these casements. And this is inside one of the casements, which is actually now a fine art gallery. But you can see what it would have looked like originally when it was used for the billet of officers. I just love the atmosphere of places like this. There's so much going on. It's old, it's very historical, and it's a great mould or repurposing of an area that was probably quite derelict before they decided to turn it into a retail area and a square with all those cafes and restaurants and bars. Well done, Gibraltar, it's excellent. Now this is Main Street, which is about half a mile long, I should think, goes to Casement Square. It's the hub of shopping here, loads of well-known brand names and stores such as M&S and M&S Food. There's either no tax or no VAT here, so things are generally a lot cheaper to buy. And if you come at this time of year, plenty of sales. Oh, this guard hasn't moved a muscle in ages, not a centimetre. I've never seen a guard stand as still as this guy. But he's guarding one of the government buildings, And on the other side of the road is the actual government building. Well, we've decided to take a tour, and we're currently at the southernmost point of Gibraltar, which is Europa Point with the lighthouse. That is North Africa there. This is obviously the Mediterranean. Of course, the Mediterranean at Gibraltar is where the Battle of Trafalgar was fought, when the French tried to invade Gibraltar, and Horatio Nelson saw them off. But it's been a very strategic defensive place ever since, and you can see gun emplacements and the remnants of them, and cannon everywhere. This is the inside of the gun emplacement I showed you. It's actually called a battery, and it's one of a lot all along the south coast. Then it was time for our tour to leave Europa Point and head up the rock. Our tour was with Bland Travel, cost £39 a person. If you're sightseeing under your own steam, then the number 2 bus will take you from the town to Europa Point. Now, there are a lot of travel touts in the town offering tours up the rock, but be aware, not all are legit, so be sure to get the total cost of your tour up front. Our driver was highly knowledgeable and very funny too. The tour included entry to St Michael's Caves, the war tunnels, and of course there was a chance to meet the apes. The quickest way to the top is by cable car. It takes about 6 minutes and it isn't expensive, so it's fast and you get some amazing views. And if you want to walk it, it'll take you 2 to 3 hours depending on your fitness. The quickest but most tortuous walking route down is via the Mediterranean steps. I would suggest you need nerves of steel and a good level of stamina. So we're now in St Michael's Cave. This remarkable feature is called the Angel of St Michael's Cave, which is quite remarkable. This is limestone, been here for millions of years. Look at that column there, stunning. Now, you can't see it very clearly, but this area is actually an auditorium in this amazing setting. And later this year, 2025, I think actually it's in March, Sarah Millican is performing here, which would be really worth coming to see, I reckon. That was absolutely beautiful. If you, I don't know if you actually ever get the full effect on a video, but that was stunning. But when we came out, the lady just bought an ice lolly, got set on by one of the monkeys. She was trying to fight it off to keep the lolly safe. You don't do that. One of the tour guides was saying, in fact it was our tour guide that was saying to her, let him have it, don't fight and don't touch it. And it was really quite rough with her. So as a warning to you, if you do come up here and they go for something of yours, don't fight for it, particularly food. You're not supposed to feed them. They will fight back and they will bite, and if you feed them, there is, I think, a £2,000 instant fine if you do feed them, so avoid doing that at all costs. Of course, if they go for your glasses, hats, don't wear them when you're near the monkeys. Keep your cameras under tight rein, and having said that, I'm going to start holding this with 2 hands. Hard hat, because this is where we are. Now, one of the surprises of these tunnels is this. Not something you expect to see, tucked away in a tunnel under Gibraltar. My favourite aircraft of all time. Of course, Gibraltar's strategic location meant that it served as a naval and air base throughout the Second World War, and it was particularly important for the Spitfires and the Royal Air Force to be able to control the entrance to the Mediterranean. Looks like we're delving into the deepest reaches of the tunnels. There are two routes through the tunnels, one short and one long. The choice is yours. There are a lot of displays and tableaus to see, all depicting the important roles of the British Armed Forces in Gibraltar during World War II. Hopefully there's a gift shop that will be open in time for the 2025 summer season. The monkeys on the rock are actually Barbary macaques. They live wild in the Upper Rock Nature Reserve, although they will wander elsewhere. If you do visit, do not attempt to touch them. They might come to you, but even then it's their choice how they interact with you. As I already said, secure your valuables and do not eat or openly carry food in front of them. They might look cute, but they can be vicious and they are very protective of their young. On our first night here, we ate at a place called Biancas, and I had fillet steak with onion rings and fries, and I said at the time they were the best steaks, the best onion rings and the best fries I've ever had when eating out. Well, we've come back again. This time I've got a rack of ribs, fries, and I've asked for some of those onion rings again. There is so much meat on these ribs, it's untrue. Jan has got tagliatelle, which she had on the first night and really enjoyed, said it was, again, one of the best meals she's had out. The portions are a good size, and I can thoroughly recommend Biancas if you come to Gibraltar. Well, that was an effort, but we did it virtually. If you want to come to Biancas, they're just at the stern of the Sunborn at Ocean Village. There's a few restaurants there. But the food at Bianca's is just brilliant. We have two iconic sites within spitting distance of each other. The Rock Hotel there to the left and the Almeida Gibraltar Botanic Gardens right in front of us. And that's where we're going right now. Now, I stand to be corrected, but I believe these are called dragon trees. And Gibraltar boasts, not in this location but elsewhere, the largest and oldest dragon tree in existence. As far as botanical gardens go, this one isn't the biggest, but it certainly has a wide variety of flora, which if you're into that kind of thing, I think this is probably a must-see stop. And this is the Giuseppe Codali Bridge, which goes over, I think what we can safely assume is a man-made pond, but the structure, the basis of it, will be pretty much natural because of the geology of the land. This was created in 1842. And here's the man himself, Giuseppe Codali. Lived from 1847 to 1917, and he designed these gardens and was the head gardener for many years. Well, I saw some movement in those bushes a moment ago and I wonder what sort of animal it was. Well, it turns out it's the lesser spotted red gardener. There is a lot more to see in these gardens than we've shown you just now. So yeah, I think it's worth coming. You'll find it just past the cable car station in Red Sands Road. There's no admission fee, and if it's a nice day, there's something for you to do. We're going to now leave the Botanical Gardens and we're going up there to the world famous Rock Hotel, renowned for being quintessentially British in a very sort of old-fashioned way. They do afternoon teas there, and apparently the dining is amazing. But we're going to pop in and see if we can get ourselves a cup of coffee. Well, if you're walking, the only way to the hotel is to go up. There are some steps opposite the Botanical Gardens, or if you're driving, there is a drive off the junction straight up to the front of the hotel. Well, we're here. Let's see if we can get in, get ourselves a coffee. Well, that's a good start. We've been allowed in. Now let's have a look. Got the bar here and then round to the left, I believe.
I must say we had a very nice coffee. This is a delightfully old-fashioned hotel. It has a great reputation for dining and for its afternoon teas. If you want to stay, then now, in February-March time, room prices start around £250 per night. Here we are then for some final thoughts about this trip. The night before our flight from London Heathrow Terminal 3, we stayed at the Radisson Red Hotel, which is close by, where we left our car for the duration of the trip and took a hotel hopper shuttle to the airport. Now, the cost of the room and parking was around £70. The hotel room was enormous and the bed one of the most comfortable we've ever slept on in a hotel. The food there is okay, but pricey. For example, 2 pizzas and 2 bottles of beer set us back £48. And be careful if you order spirits at the Icons bar. Always specify what spirit you want, say gin, for example. Tell them what one you prefer and ask the price. I didn't, and 2 gin and tonics set us back just shy of £25. Be aware too that the Hopper shuttle service that services the airport and the hotels runs very frequently in the mornings, but only once an hour during the evenings. So although we paid for the return trip at £11 per person, the shuttle had just left when we arrived at the bus stop, and as it was pouring with rain, we ended up taking a taxi for the short ride back to the Radisson. Now at Gibraltar, when you arrive at the airport, it's just a short 15 to 20 minute walk to the town centre and the Sunborn from the airport itself. And that's when you'll come across something pretty unique about this place. The road into town actually crosses the runway. And when an aircraft is due to take off or land, they close the road to traffic and pedestrians until it's clear. That's a really weird sensation crossing that runway. As for our accommodation, well, the Sunborn has been a real treat. Through BA Holidays, we paid just £260 per person for 3 nights on the yacht, including flights and breakfast on board. If you're coming here for a special occasion, then I would say a star on the 5-star Sunborn is a must. It's also worth putting on your best smile when you check in and inquiring if there are any room upgrades available. Now, you might not get that suite, but maybe a larger room or a better view. Because there's so much choice of places to eat nearby, we only dined on the Sunborn once, but my goodness, it was worth it. Some of the best sea bass we've had in a long time. And as I said earlier, we thought the prices on board were very reasonable. Now, as for other places to check out, the Gibraltar Tea Company, tucked away in Tucky's Lane, off the main street, serves delicious light meals and, as you might guess, has a great selection of teas available. And if you're in Casemates Square, then the Rock Cafe serves great food at very reasonable prices. Of course, there's Biancas at the Ocean Village, and as you may have guessed, I can't say enough about them. They're fantastic. Now, the currency in Gibraltar is the Gibraltar pound, which is worth the same as the British pound, and ATMs often dispense both or give you a choice of which you want. Bear in mind, however, that although they're interchangeable in Gibraltar, you can't take Gibraltar currency out of the country. Now, all in all, after 4 days in Gib, we felt as if we'd been there much longer. We felt recharged and relaxed. And it's a strange mix of everything British, but with a lot of people speaking Spanish. You don't need to worry though, because everyone there is either English or they speak English fluently. Is it worth going? Yeah, very definitely. Although I would suggest it's not really a family destination. There's probably not enough to keep younger family members entertained. There are a couple of nice beaches, but the best ones are over the border in Spain. So you might be better advised to holiday there and visit Gib on a day trip. It's certainly somewhere we might consider returning to in the future. So that's it. If you've been to Gib, how did our trip compare with yours? Did you do or see anything different? And I'm sure you may have done, because there was a lot that we didn't get the chance to do in that short time we were there. Let us know in the comments, and do please subscribe and hit that bell to be notified as our programs drop. In the meantime, thanks for joining us on this travel special, and until the next edition of Grey Matters, it's bye for now.